it's Amanda from the Fiction Fairy, and today is Vlogmas, Vlogcember, day 7. Yeah! I am so excited about day 7. Why am I so excited about day 7? Because this is the first time ever in history that I have recorded 7 videos straight. And again, I know I say it in most of my videos, I am just super amped about that, and I'm really, really excited. So today's video is going to be an unhaul video, and this is going to be part 1 of several, maybe even like part 1 of 4 or 5, because I have a lot of books to unhaul, but I don't want to do like a long 30-minute video. Just kind of want to get to it and make it kind of quick, and then do several other videos that have to do with me unhauling my books. Now these books I'm unhauling them either because I read them and they weren't for me, I did not read them because they did not seem like they were for me, or I read them, did like them, but I have a different copy of them. So maybe they're an ARC and I have a finished copy. Maybe it's a finished copy that's in hardback, but I wanted to keep the paperback. So those are the 3 reasons why these would be being unhauled. And I know my sister's been waiting for me to do this video and the rest of these videos for so long, because all the books I'm unhauling, I let her go through them and kind of just see what it is that she wants for her own collection. So she's like, hurry up and do the unhaul video because I really want to come over and get some books. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So the first book that I have is Friends, Enemies by Rosie Rushton. And I bought this book probably back in 2011. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I purchased this. I think I purchased this maybe at like a bargain bookstore or something like that. And I thought I was going to read it, and I was kind of like new to the blogging world, and I never read it. It's just not for me. I've clearly had it on my shelf for years and have done nothing with it. So I just want to go ahead and I want to get rid of it and clear off some extra space. The next book that I have is Alive and Well in Prague, New York by Daphne Grab. And I actually bought this book from the Bargain Warehouse a couple of months ago, and it was actually no, this wasn't from the Bargain Book Warehouse. This was actually from Amazon, and this was on their like discounted list, and I just wanted to add the book. I think it might have been like $1.50 or $2, something like that. And I was just like, oh yeah, let's totally get that. That sounds great, and it's cheap. And I have not read it yet. I have no intentions of reading it, and I really just bought it based off of price principle, and that one's not going to get read. The next book that I have is Back in Black. It's an A-list novel by Zoe Dean, and I have not read this book. I have, I think, a set of 5 or 6 of them. I believe it's like a whole series of books, and I bought it for super cheap off eBay. I think the entire series of books cost me like $5 and like $2 in shipping. And again, I was just like, ooh, price principle, let's get some more books, and wasn't really paying attention to what they were about, and here I am doing an unhaul on it. Another book from the A-list, an A-list novel, is Some Like It Hot, and this is, again, by Zoe Dean. This goes with the same series that Back in Black was, and again, not going to read this one. I have The Chaos of Stars by Kirsten White, and I got this review from HarperCollins, and the reason why I'm unhauling this one is because I actually have a finished copy of it, and so more than likely my sister will take this one, but that's why I am unhauling this one, because I don't need a finished copy and an art copy. And typically I keep the art copies not because they're arcs, but because they're paperbacks, and paperbacks are my favorite form of book. However, I really like the hardcover version of this one, so I went ahead and cut that one. The next book that I have is Darkness Falls by Kate Tierman. And I had gotten these for review from, this might be from Little Brown. Yeah, it was from, this Poppy is the publisher, but it's underneath the umbrella of Little Brown Books. And Little Brown was the first publishing company to send me ARCs, and I didn't really know what books I wanted. They just sent me some random ones. This was probably like 2 years ago, and this was never really up my alley, so I just never got around to reading it, and that is why I'm unhauling it. I also have, let me just do these together. I have Tall Cool One, Blonde Ambition, and Girls on Film. And these are all A-list novels by Zoe Dean. They all go together. And again, They're just not for me. I'm just not going to read them. They kind of remind me of maybe like a Gossip Girl, which I do love that TV show, but I'm not interested in books like that. And so, again, not going to read those ones. I bought them as a set. They were super cheap, and clearly I got burned because I'm unhauling them. The next book that I'm unhauling is Lauren Conrad, The Fame Game. And the reason why I'm unhauling this one is because I actually have another copy of this that is in hardback, and I don't need two hardbacks. Have I read this book yet? No, but I do like Lauren Conrad, and I do really like the covers of these books, even though they sound exactly like her TV show The Hills and Laguna Beach. So one day maybe I'll get around to reading them. The next book that I'm unhauling is The Broken Hearted, and this is by Amelia Connie. And the reason why I'm unhauling this book is because I'm just not really interested in it. I did read like maybe 30 pages, and it was just really, in my mind, it was closely related to Batman, and I just wasn't feeling it. A girl who might have superpowers, possibly protecting the city. It just wasn't. It wasn't for me, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unhaul this. It's such a shame because this cover is absolutely beautiful. I really, really love it, but yeah, just not for me. That was a sad one because I was looking forward to that book before it came out. The next book I have is Beautiful Malice, and this is by Rebecca James, and this also, I believe, was on Amazon's clearance list, and I bought this because the cover intrigued me, and if I'm being very honest, because this is in pink, and pink is my favorite color, I got it. It was super cheap, and yeah, we're not going to be reading this one either. Ugh, it's so sad because these are such pretty covers, but in case you didn't notice, I am a cover buyer, and I've been burned more than once by that. I primarily buy books off their cover. Clearly, I hear what they're about, but first off, I look at the cover, then I read the synopsis and see if I want to buy it. And sometimes I don't really care for the synopsis, but I buy it anyway because the cover is nice. I know it's such a bad thing to say, but hey, I'm being 100% honest with you guys. I just love covers. You can get me with the cover, and I have been burned so bad on some books where they were just like, whoo, totally not for me, but that cover just drew me right in, and oh, man, let me tell you, jeez, I really need to stop doing that. The next book that I'm going to unhaul is Spoiled by Heather Cox and Jessica Morgan. Again, this came to me from Little Brown Books, and this was from the first set of ARCs that I had ever received. They just sent me a box of them, and I love this cover. I loved it. When I first got it, it's just so cool. It has it's written in like lipstick, and it has like, this is like eyeshadow pigment, lipstick, nail polish. These are fake eyelashes. It just sounded like so intriguing. Somebody who's like spoiled and what's going to happen. And the cover was awesome, but I just never got into it. And I think it's because at that time when I first started my blog, I was kind of seeing what I was into book-wise because I hadn't really read in a while, and I was just getting back into it. I didn't really know what kind of books I like. Contemporary. I'd never read a dystopian. I'd never like gotten into all these different genres that there were for young adult books at the time. And so I was kind of finding myself again as a reader, and that's why a lot of these books are just getting unhauled, because I found out that I was a different type of reader than I thought that I was, and these books just kind of didn't fit into my reading style the way that I had hoped. The next book that I am unhauling is Cross Your Heart, Connie Pickles, and this is by Sabine Durant. Can anybody figure out why I bought this book? I'll give you some seconds. You're right, it's because it's pink. Do you see? Okay, but honestly, and tell me in the comments below, can you not see why this would have been a book I would have picked up? Or even anybody would have picked up. It's such a cute cover. Like, it was just such a good cover. And, man, I didn't even open this book up. It's so sad, but it's just not, it's not going to be for me. This, of course, was an Amazon cheap buy. Sometimes I just want to keep the dust jackets. Don't you kind of want to do that sometimes? Just keep the dust jackets of the books that you like and make them almost like posters. Because you don't necessarily want to read the books. The next book that I am unhauling is Jane by April Lindner. And this book, again, was one of the first books that I got from Little Brown Books. I love, love, love this cover. Why? Anybody? You in the back. Girl on the left. Girl on the right. Girl with the red hair. You're right. It's because Jane is written in pink. This book was a retelling of Jane Eyre. And I've never even read Jane Eyre. I do have the book. I do want to read it. It's a classic that many people love. This was a retelling of it. It had gotten rave reviews, so I was so excited to get it for a review copy. And then I just realized, maybe not. You know, maybe I want to read the classic before I go reading a retelling of it. So I just never got around to this book. It's been sitting on my shelf for, you know, geez, at least 2 years. So I'm going to go ahead and unhaul this and see if my sister wants this book. The next book that I have, ooh, they're all toppling over. The next book that I have is Survey, and this is by Celia Rees. And I got this book because I was at the dollar store, and they always have like the coloring books, puzzle books, word books, and they had this book there, and it was $1. And anybody who is obsessed with anything, candles, books, clothes, stamps, know that it is very hard that when the thing that you like to collect is on sale for super cheap, even if it's not something you've been looking for necessarily, it's hard to pass it up. So there was this whole book that was on Amazon for like 12 bucks. It was $1 in the dollar store, and it wasn't in me to pass it up. I had to get it. And unfortunately now I am unhauling it, which makes me feel like such a horrible person because I should have left it there for somebody else to buy, but oh, what do you do? And the last book for this unhaul video is going to be Sweetly by Jackson Pierce. And I know when this came out, people were really loving it once they read it. I really love the cover because like the trees make like a scary face if you can see the eyes and the nose and the little house. And I had also received this for review from Little Brown Books, and I never read it. It's just the cover was intriguing, but it just didn't draw me in. And the thing is, what I've learned from a lot of these books is that you learn what publishing house tends to have the books that you enjoy. And I learned that Little Brown Books, although I appreciated them sending me, you know, review copies and things like that, that they weren't necessarily a publishing house that had a lot of books that interested me and my taste and who I was as a reader. They had terrific books, but not really ones that suited me. And that's kind of like what I found out through blogging and through doing this channel, that certain publishing houses seem to suit me better. HarperCollins seems to suit me a little bit better. Simon & Schuster has some books that I really like, but I really tend to stay in the realm of HarperCollins, Harper Teen. They seem to have more books that are geared towards me and my specific taste. So that's also another good thing about blogging and doing a channel and reading things from different publishers, is you kind of see that, wow, I keep reading, if you like Harlequin, if you like romance books, you're like, wow, I keep reading Harlequin books. Maybe that publishing house who publishes them is a publishing house that constantly is releasing books that I seem interested in, but maybe, you know, HarperCollins releases books that, yeah, you like, but you're not really super interested in, or you're not interested in them at all, and so you tend to steer away from that specific publishing house and go towards another one that seems to be a little bit more geared towards you. Just like clothing stores, if you go to the Gap, it seems like everything in there fits you like a glove. They have the colors you love, the fabric you love. You tend to constantly buy things from that store because you already know how they fit, how they feel, the price point that you want, versus going to maybe Express. You know, you have to go in and you have to try them on because everything fits differently, because it's cut differently. Their materials are different, you know, that maybe they wrinkle quickly. So then you tell yourself, you know, maybe Express is not my #1 store. You know, the Gap is my go-to because they have more things coming out of the Gap that are suited towards me, where Express has some things that are suited towards me, but not a lot of them. It's the same thing with publishing houses and books and with authors. I'm going to go ahead and put this book down now. And with authors, some authors are your go-to authors, your automatic buy authors, and whatever they put out, you know that you're going to purchase because 9 times out of 10, that book is going to be for you. Or other authors, maybe their books have let you down before, so you're a little more leery about getting books that they published, or their books weren't for you to begin with, so you're kind of like, I don't really know if I want to, you know, purchase a book from that author because I haven't liked a lot of their books in the past. So, again, that's what reading does for you. It kind of just lets you know who you are kind of as a person, where you kind of are steering yourself to. That's why it's so great to just read a wide variety of things: contemporary, dystopian, mystery, biographies, all kinds of things, to kind of see who you are. Sometimes a genre that you read, you're like, wow, I really like that genre. You know, I've had a couple books I really liked, and you thought that you didn't like it. So, I mean, reading is discovery, and discovery is reading. That is my little quote for this video. So guys, that is my unhaul video number 1. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoyed this Vlogmas Vlogcember video number 7. And I will be back again with an unhaul video number 2 at some point. I mean, I feel such shame unhauling these books, but like I said, I will let my sister go through them and see if she wants any of them. And anything that she doesn't want, I will go ahead and donate to my literacy center that I have in the town next to me. So that way hopefully somebody else can enjoy the books that weren't exactly for me. So guys, thank you so much for coming past the Picture Fairy, and I will see you tomorrow for Vlogmas Vlogcember Day 8.